What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, and where the fights all start.
Round one.
What a day, what a day, what a day to be alive, right? Let's talk about this. I got some shit to talk about. We got to talk about this shit, man. It's just getting a little bit out of control, a little soap opera-ish. With these two dudes now. And I feel like I got to defend myself here. You know what I mean? But so we're going to talk boxing too and everything related to boxing and anything you guys want to talk about, we can talk about. So let's hop right into this episode. What's up, my man? Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. What you mean, y'all gotta stop? They gotta stop. How is it that y'all gotta stop? Who's y'all? Right? That's what I want to know, right? Because I wake up this morning, I go on the Boxing Voice. They asked me about the situation like a real man. I was like, there ain't nothing going on, bro. If Tone's not here to defend himself, you don't talk about a person when they're not here to defend themselves. Tone wasn't there. I had nothing to say. I confront my problems, right? I'm not going to sit there and talk shit about Tone. And I didn't know that Johnny felt that way because I fucking like Johnny in the show, right? And then when I first got on the show with Johnny, next, I put up like my boxing video and he started fucking with Johnny. And I guess Johnny caused some feelings right there, which in fact, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to Johnny, right? But I wanted to talk to him because I kind of thought it was fucked up, right? Johnny's trying to get himself sponsored, and Ness was kind of like killing his thing. But you know how Ness be, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Ness meant it like that or anything to Johnny, but because, they like to like mess around with each other. But I always liked it, Johnny. I wanted to tell Johnny, like from the beginning that I met him on the show, I was like, one of the reasons, because like I like his style of like, interacting and shit. Because I don't think I'm better at commentating boxing than any of them dudes. First of all, I get on a Boxing Voice to learn. You know what I'm saying? To be like with some of the best guys that talk. And for the little bit that I did know about Johnny, I didn't get to really fucking meet the dude. You know what I mean? Because I guess jealousy or whatever you want to like call it, right? Because I don't know where you make men like this. I really don't, bro. I don't. Where in the game they teach men how to be like this? Like yesterday, they went on Marcos's platform and fucking literally like cry like girls, like they were so emotional. They can't let it go. I'm on the Boxing Void. I'm like, yeah, it's dealt with. I'm good. I'm good, right? They can't let it go. They talking about me like I'm the top thing on their mind. Bro, since that time, I know how to deal with shit. I kept it pushing. This is a microphone. We're not in the street in front of each other. I don't really know how to fight this war. I don't know how to fight this bickering like girls over, oh, he did this, he sounds like this, wah. Like, bro, like, grow the fuck up, man. Where do you do this at? Seriously. Like, is this what men have become? You go on to talk about somebody else on another platform or on your own, like, bro, let it go. And then it's like grown men just making up their own lies and story. He was starstruck by Bill Haney and interrupting. Bro, I overspec. I thought the man was done. I did it one time, right? As a matter of fact, that's not the first time I've ever interviewed Bill Haney. But if you let these guys tell it, he was starstruck by Bill Haney. Bro, I've interviewed Bill Haney numerous of times. Like these dudes, bro, they're like high school teenage girls. They'll make up anything. Tone's on there saying, oh, this nigga was getting high or bumped. I'm like, I can't take that. Like, I know some dudes that they think they cool as shit by, getting skied up or whatever. And if that's how you want to be defined as cool, well, I can't take that label because I don't get down like that. So, other people were like, they called me, they were like, yo, E, I thought you never get, so you weren't going to bump up with me, you denied me. I'm like, yo, bro, they lying, bro. Like, nah, I told you no because it's no, right? You know what I mean? Like, they looking at me like, oh, we ain't good enough for you, Edwin. I'm like, bro, yo, these dudes is hilarious, bro. They're just I don't know what it is, bro. Jealousy, envy, you could put a name on it, bro. I don't know how the hell I rent space in their head that they gotta keep talking about me. Like their whole fucking thing now is talking about me. I'm a little flattered. I'm a little flattered. A little pissed off, a little flattered because you get to talk shit behind a microphone. Like, that's not how I get down. That's not how I get down. That's not like, I don't, it fucks me up because I'm just like, bro, like, if you got something to say, right? And Two Tones, like, if you had something to say about your wife's situation, why didn't you call Ness? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Who the hell you think I gotta call Ness to ask permission to talk to you like on some shit? No, I'll just go straight to you. I'm a man. If I got a problem with you, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna talk to you about it. This dude talking about you should have went to Ness. Well, just in case, Ness, and I hope you don't get mad about this, right? Because sharing texts and shit like that, I don't like to do that. Like, if you sent me a text about something, you don't share your texts publicly. You know what I'm saying? But if I to shed light on this, look at the timestamp that he dropped the video, and you can see the timestamp on the text I text next. It was the same fucking day, 15 minutes after he texted. Now he's gonna turn around and say, "Oh, he never mentioned it in his video." What you mean I gotta mention shit, bro? The dude was dead wrong, Tone. He's a disrespectful dude that thinks that he can clown on people, but when a real man steps up and says something to him, he just bitches up. He'll shell up. And then when you walk away, he'll talk behind your back. And he's on some story shit where it's like, oh, let me make shit up so that I can sound cool and make it look funny. Nothing this dude has put out has any facts, just like his boxing knowledge. It's all garbage, ain't it? Everything that comes out that man's mouth is basically garbage. Check it out, right? He's like, oh, you call me the B word. The B word? What are you talking about, Two Tone? I called you the B word and you're upset? Wait, whoa. Your show is called The Hatrix. The Hatrix. You promote hate. Okay? In what world does the word being a hater is not a B? You're literally promoting yourself as a B word, right? And you're offended that somebody calls you it? Bro, in what part of the world, in what hood, in what area do you being a hater, it's not promoting yourself? But when you see a hater, what's a hater to you guys? Tell me your definition of a hater. He's a B, right? Ain't that what a hater is? How many times have Tone got up on his show and go, no, I'm definitely a hater. This is the Hatrix. Don't be surprised. Okay, you promote yourself that way. That is your whole gimmick, that you will be. That is everything. and you're going to get offended when someone calls you it? On what level is a hater considered a cool dude? Where? When someone hates on you with your clothes, with your jewelry. Oh, my man got a better bracelet. Hater. What is he being? A B. What is a hater? A B. And you're going to sit there and say, he called me a B. Brother, that is your whole gimmick. That's what you are. And you're offended? You're offended that somebody said that to you. Really? Yo. It's like they trying to make B-ass dudes real. Like being a B in this world is the new gangster. What? Going on crying about another man. Like I must be renting space in these dudes' heads. You really? Yo. And where I'm from, I learned as a real early, you got to be responsible for what comes out your mouth. And if you a real dude and you a real one, don't talk about the dude if he ain't there. That's how I was taught. Anybody asks me, if that dude ain't there, don't say nothing to him. Wait until he's standing in front of you and then speak your mind. Let's see what you about. Let's see if you really about that life. It's easy to talk about anybody while they're not there. But what is that called? What is that called when you talking about people behind their back? That's what it's called, right? What part of the world do you get to go on down somebody, then come on and say, well, you made a video. If you have something to say about me, you should have contacted X, Y, and Z. Motherfucker, I don't need permission from no one to approach you. If I got an issue with you, I'm going to you. I'm going straight to you. What the hell is this? You needed to contact this dude for and this. What is that? Where do they make these men at? What part of the world do they come from? It's crazy, bro. Now you got Johnny up there hating on me, and I'm surprised by that, bro. I'm really taken back by that because I ain't never did nothing to Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Johnny just, I don't know, man. He felt some kind of way. I hopped on the show. It was like, oh, shit, the new dude type shit, like the new kid in class, but he's much cooler than all of you dudes, and you guys don't like that shit. They kind of look at you with that ugly face like you're not that dude. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They look at you sideways like, he's not that good. You know what I mean? They hate you because they ain't you, bro. Yo, it's crazy, man. That surprised me with Johnny, man, because I've been wanting to catch Johnny by himself for a long time since I've been on the show to let him know, I be like, yo, Johnny, I ain't got nothing with you, bro. Like, actually, I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like on the show, like just his presence, everything, the way he carried himself. He's real laid back, cool dude, and he's a Puerto Rican Latin dude and shit. And I wanted to always, like show support and shit, but apparently, man, the dude didn't even get time to meet me, man. One show, he threw up some boxing shit on me. He said I would stop Johnny, and he caught some feelings and got off, didn't say much after that, and I ain't heard from the man since. He ain't been on the show since Ness did that shit. You know what I'm saying? And Ness didn't do nothing wrong, like Two Tone says. They joke around on the show. I thought it was, Ness said the joke to him about him. I didn't do anything. I didn't go on the show saying I would whoop your ass. Did I ever do that? No. I didn't go on the show threatening none of them. Or nah. My personality is my personality. Yours is yours. Tone is loud, boisterous, and ignorant, right? On the show. And he's going to turn around and say that I'm that. Really? You can't deal with your own personality? You don't like that someone else is either your equal or better, right? So what you got to do is go on a smear campaign and try to smear their name. Why? Because if they can't beat you in the very thing you're good at, smear his name. Just make up lies, say whatever you want. Say whatever you want because they can't beat you at what you're good at. And you're going to learn how to deal with haters in your life, and you're going to want to confront them straight up, like kind of like what I want to do. But sometimes you got to beat them at their own game. That's why I'm doing this right here on the live right now. I got no other choice. This is the only way I could fight them. This is my only weapon against what's going on right now. The kind of jealousy, hate, smearing campaign that they're on, it forces me to get here. If I had said nothing, if I don't come on, they would say, oh, he said all this and he just didn't say shit. Right? Ain't that what would happen? How many people came on Ness's show and wanted to see what was going to happen between me and Tone? And I was prepared to let it go. You see how I did it. I get on the show, homeboy gets on. Yo, I missed it. Yo, Ed, they said you handled it like a real man. And most of Two Tones on his show, when I confronted him, bro, homeboy was panicking on the show. Everybody on the show, like mad dudes on the chat, started saying, yo, that I was right. He started blocking, deleting. You could see him on the show panicking, right? He was panicking so much that in his head, he started reading off messages, thinking that the messages were talking for him. They were talking for me. And he kept having to delete messages and everything. And then the dumbass goes and puts the messages on his screen. So even if he deleted the messages on his video, you could still read the messages. Yo, he was fucked up, Two Tone. He didn't know what to do on his own platform, on his own show with me on it. Then, like, you got the ignorant dudes on his show, right? His little fan, which is expected, right? They start reaching. No, since you didn't mention what he said about your wife on your short, then that means that blah, blah, blah. I didn't have to mention my wife. Had you watched his video and been up to date on shit, you would have known when I made my video and I said the comment about him and women was also, that was showing you in the conversation which way this was. You see? And then what does my short have to do with our situation? Oh, you didn't put it out. It's just excuses after excuses after excuses. And Two Tone had just made a video disrespecting other men for bringing their wives up in conversation. And he did the very thing. And it just so happens I brought it to him on his show, and his foot was so far down his mouth, right? He's hiding right now, Two Tone, from the public eye about our conversation. He won't go on Ness's show. He'll go on other platforms to voice what he like. And I'm like looking at this dude like, bro, you need to stop, man. This is not a good look for you. Like, but apparently to whoever's platform or show he can go on and cry about me. Like, I'm like, yo, you got to talk about me like that? I'm like, a little flattered. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Two Tone, you mad? Why are you mad? Why you mad, Two Tone? Yo, Two Tone sounds like a hurt girl, right? Oh, he went out with Ness. He didn't come on the boxing voice. Yo, I was dying, bro. I was crying. Yo, this dude sounds like a hurt chick. Yo, I was crying, bro. I was just like, bro, I never heard a man just like publicly be a B so blatant. Like he's not ashamed to be these kind of things because I guess he views himself as a fat, nasty slob. So when you view yourself like that, I guess you don't have no respect for yourself. You don't have no respect for the world. See what I'm saying? In his head, he named himself superstar. The people didn't name him superstar. You can see where his mindset is, where that he's trying to make himself feel like something better. Talk about on Mother's Day, he had to go out there and check out some yams. Brother, there's not that many prostitutes in the world that'll let you lay on their fat ass. You know what I'm saying? That's why you a hopeless romantic alone. You know what I mean? It's like you're a slob. So the truth is the truth. And, I see him. I'm just like, he's one of them dudes that you got to be out with a good looking dude so that he can pull the girls and you get like the leftovers. That's Tone. He gets what's ever left over. If there's something left over, that's him. I've hung around with dudes like that. You know what I'm saying? Because us good looking dudes that we pull them, you know what I mean? These are the type of dudes we got to deal with. Yeah. These helpless romantic type dudes. Talk about, I had to go check out yams on Mother's Day. Yo, this dude is pathetic, bro. He's pathetic, man. Sad case. Real sad, bro. Man, listen. Man. Like I said, like, I didn't want to do this shit. I don't want to come up and talk about this dude at all. But I got no choice. I got no choice in the matter now. I thought that he would see that yesterday when they would ask me about the situation, that he would stop. I said, yo, there ain't nothing wrong. We good. We good on the boxing force. I mean, we good, right? This motherfucker went on and made a campaign with Johnny and the dude, the host of the show, like trying to get him back to go to Two Tone to like push me out. Like, yo, the hate is just real. Like, he's like, it's Ness's show. He keeps saying, yo, it's Ness's show. He's the host of the show. We're supposed to be like co-hosts, right? Or whatever, right? But he's trying to get me kicked off the show. It's Ness's show, but he's trying to get me kicked off the show. Campaigning with Johnny for me to not go back on. But it's Ness's show. But he's trying to control it. And then he calls himself the co-host. Not Johnny, him. Not 702, Two Tone. Look how Two Tone thinks. Look how he talks. Look. He said in a video, I like Johnny because Johnny's quiet. So if someone speaks up, because I'm not there to just to sit down and stay in the background, I'm there to talk boxing. So if you talk boxing over his nonsense, he's offended. He's offended. Don't. I'm just like, yo, my man, like, yo, his God complex that he has, real narcissist, you know what I mean? Like, he just really thinks that because he named himself a superstar, that he actually is one. Like, I don't know. Sometimes this YouTube shit can get to your head. And, there's a real world outside that door after this microphone. What are you in the real world? Who are you? Can you walk outside? Are you well loved? Are you feared? Do you have a great job? Are you, do you give back to your community? Like, who are you as a person? As a person, Tone. If your whole life and your whole demeanor is behind a microphone, you might as well be playing a video game. You might as well be playing a video game. See, I get up, I go to fights, I meet these fighters in the gym. When you're running your mouth behind a microphone and you don't meet these fighters face to face, that's easy. That's easy. You can talk shit to anybody behind this. No, I go to the gyms. I see these fighters. I meet them. I'm responsible for what I say out of my mouth. And I walk around with my head up like this, and I walk through them gyms, because that's my home. Around a bunch of fucking best fighters in the world, a bunch of killers, gangsters, fucking boxing promoting sharks, con man, fucking you name it. That's where I go hang out at. That's where I'm mostly at home. That's I feel good there. I'm not sure how you guys were raised or whatever, and I'm not here to say that my life is worse than yours or your life is worse than mine. But if you can understand what I'm about to say, then you can. If you don't, it's just my life. But I'm trying to share with you how I am. I've gone on vacations in the world with my wife. I've gone on vacations, and I thought I was like happy in my life at that time. I'm sitting on vacation in a city. I have no idea where I'm at. In the middle of the night, I got up, went downstairs, got in the rental car. And all I did was just follow the people. Driving, I had no idea where I was going. I'm just following looking at the people until I got to the hood, till I found it. You know what I did? I got out the car and I went to the corner bodega, which is probably the dangerous spots in some of the most hoods. At least in my hood it is. I went there, went inside, bought a little fucking drink, came outside, took a deep breath, and I was like, yes. And I was just waiting for somebody to walk up and be like, where you from? So that I could deal with that. But I felt at home. I was so far away with my wife in this place that it was like I needed to find where, I didn't feel normal where I was. I don't know if any of y'all ever experienced that. And I had to go to the fucking inner city in the middle of the night, just like breathe for a second. All these suits and ties were around me all day, like at this convention and shit. And I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't deal with it. I just had to go. And I mean, it's crazy. I thought about that one time. I was just like, in the most hostile environment, I feel safe. I feel that's where I belong. And my wife tried to take me away from that. I've been with her for 15 years now, and she's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I probably would have been shot and dead on the street by now. Yeah, probably. If it wasn't for her. I tell her that and shit. Yeah, I'd be dead now. I was no good. She told me she was like, she didn't want the money, she wanted the man. And I ain't believing her fucking ass. Little ass white girl, little Irish girl at the time when I met her. She didn't have $1 in her pocket. She don't come from money. She don't come from none of that shit. Shit. I took care of her for the first 5 years. And then one day she was just like, let's take the money you got and let's do something with it. And, you hear these things in my situation in the hood and shit. And I just agreed with her. I was just like, yeah. We're going to buy a house one day. Yeah. We're going to get out of here. And, I didn't want to argue with her at the time or anything. I would just hold her at night, whatever, and be like, yeah. We're going to get out of this. But I didn't believe it and shit. And one day, bro, I paid like $1,200 for her to go to this nursing school. And from the nursing school, she did that for like 3 years. And from there, she went and started working at this weed dispensary. And they start paying her money and shit. She started making the kind of money. I was like, shit. So on paper, like it took her like 4 or 5 years, I think it was like 5 years, and she got her credit right. Lo and behold, bro, I come home from the street one night, walking in the house. She's like, Edwin, we got approved for the house. And it, like, for weeks and months, she's been telling me about this house thing. And I'm just in and out of the house, like, yeah, 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 yeah. And she was like, we got the house. And I looked at her and I was like, we got the house. I was like, what house are you talking about? What fucking house? She was like, hey, when I put in for the bank, we got the house. And I'm like looking at her like, yeah, right. So I go to sleep, wake up. She's like, Edwin, we gotta go get the keys. And none of this is real to me. None of this at the time. And then I fly down with her, we get these keys. I'm be honest with y'all. That was one of the scariest days of my life. It should have been one of the happiest days of my life. It was one of the most scariest days of my life. I had to leave everything. Yo, it took me 30 days to move from that one bedroom apartment in the inner city to a fucking house out in the country. We bought a house I'm in the house right now. We bought a house in the country at that time. I couldn't move into the house. I couldn't leave. When it was time to give it all up, I was like, give up what, man? I'm respected here, man. I'm fucking feared here. Say shit happens. I got people always going to the store for me. I barely ever had to move. Everything was right there at that house. I didn't need nothing. I had a one bedroom apartment with like 5 TVs on a fucking wall for no reason. I had like 7 fucking PlayStations and fucking a whole bunch of electric appliances and fucking I had everything I needed. I didn't want to leave, man. It was time to leave. It was and then you move out here to the country and you're like sitting here with all these people and my fucking neighbors got chickens, the other one got a goat. The lady down the street got a couple cows. I'm sitting here, man, and it's been 5 years now. I've settled in, but I remember when I first got here, I couldn't. It's so fucking quiet. There was no ambulances, no fire trucks running around. I couldn't go to sleep because every night there's somebody ODing or dying outside, and the fire trucks is always going. And you get used to that shit, and I didn't know how to cope with it. I didn't know how to cope with it, and then out here, I'm just Edwin. That's all I am. It's like I'm not trying to get gangster with my neighbors with their cows and chickens. There's no reason for that. And you sit back and you just think about what you used to do and who you used to be and shit. And you're looking at the people and you're like looking at them and you're like saying to yourself, yo, like, right? But that's what I talk about, man. It's a little bit about who I am. And I'm just an OG trying to change his stars. I'm just an OG trying to make his way, reinvent myself in something that I have a passion for. I like fighting. I like the art of fighting. I like the sweet science, and I'm a little like I've always been a real energetic dude. If you don't know much about me, I consider myself very fortunate that God gave me this body right here. It's pretty. He gave me a good model. 50 years old, I can still do a backflip. I'm fucking agile as fuck still. I be seeing dudes like half my age, like 35, in the boys club and shit. Be playing basketball. I be smoking them, and I'm just blessed that He makes God like gave me a good body. And I feel look young still, even at the young age of 50. And it's like I got that energetic spirit. I've always been like that, been pretty boisterous in my, you know what I mean? And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I've judged a book by its covers, and I wish I would have got to know people a little bit better. I'm just asking you to just get to know me a little better. You know what I mean? And don't like all these storytelling with these dudes. It's cute, it's funny. You know what I mean? But in a way, like it's pretty sad that grown ass men can't talk out their differences or problems, and they have to go on different things to talk about you. You know, where was the day that you confronted all your problems? Where did those days go? You know, just get up like a man and confront your problems. You know, so but this two-tone dude, bro, he's funny, man. He's funny. He's just campaigning everywhere to smear my name. And like I said, if they're not good in anything you do in life, if they're not better than you at what you do, they'll try another way to discredit you. They'll try another way. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. Thank you. Absolutely, guys. Badger, what's up? KB, what's up? Frontline, what's up? Might not seem like I'm in the best headspace. Let that dude talk. What's your name? A R Hayes. Not in the best space. R Hayes, how do you address something then? Do you wish that I would have addressed it the way you do? You would, or would you respect the way another person does? Are you the type of person that always looks at how a person handles a situation and you come up and always have to say you should have did it like this? Well, you're no longer seeing that person, my man Hayes. You gotta respect somebody for the way they address it, the way they do it, right? And then you allow them to work out their situation. You sound like a guy that likes to be a cheerleader. Like R. Hayes, you're sitting there and you're questioning me for sticking up for myself? Really? Really? Well, all right. Go get your pom poms. Let me see in the comment section how much you want to cheer Tone on. Let everybody hear it. Come on, and my monitor, don't block him. Let him come on. There you are, baby. Don't run from it. If I'm okay, you're being serious when you're asking me if I'm okay in my headspace. Of course I'm okay. You ever get in deep thought, really like think about where you've come from? Get the opportunity, like really feel it. You know what I mean? And but don't stay there. Don't stay in the thought. I can relive my thoughts so that I feel them. So that I feel them. I don't forget where I came from. So I'll feel my thoughts. I'll feel that emptiness and everything. But I remember why I feel that because it's only in me wanting to feel that moment for that brief second. And after that, it's all smiles. Like, I'm not that emotional, bro. But I know how to like put things in its perspective, I guess, in my head. I don't allow the things that really move me as a person to mean nothing. Like, you know how when you want to like forget about your past or these situations, some of them I'll like forget them, but some of them I keep it real. And when I relive those thoughts, you know, it's just to feel it in that second. But after that, snap out, man, let's keep it pushing, right? Because it's just that, you know, when you look back at the shit you've done or where you come from and shit, sometimes I can't believe half the shit I did. I really can't. Yo, I be thinking about that shit like when I was a young man. I'd be like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, what was going through my mind when I did that shit? Like, like I got more sense now. I'm not doing that shit today, right? Right? And it's, we all do shit that we may or not be proud of, or, it's, we're people. We're people. Anyone in this chat that lived the perfect life that can't, you know what I'm saying, then throw the first stone. But don't live in a glass house and throw a stone like and criticize and judge people for shit we know that we fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, none of us are perfect, man. And sometimes we can share our past experiences and shit just like to like kick it with one another. That's all. I'm a bit of conversationalist myself. I like to have a conversation, just talk and shit. I tell people all the time, we can come up here, talk boxing, whatever. We don't gotta swear at each other. We don't gotta be disrespectful to each other. But when ignorance pops up, it's a shame sometimes you gotta fight ignorance with ignorance. You feel me? And I feel like I've been pushed in this corner where I had to address this. Something I never wanted to do. Probably be the last time I address it. I'm not gonna address Tone no more. But I'm gonna clear some shit up because smearing my name the way they are and making these false accusations about everything that they said, how can I not say something about that? Can't just allow, like, you ever see these actors and movie stars, they just fade off into the obscurity for a few months until shit dies down, kind of like Drake is doing right now. Like, Drake can't come out and say anything. You know what I'm saying? And I think he should have. He should have came out and addressed that like a man. Say you got your ass whooped, Drake. You lost. You know what I mean? Right? You lost, but address it. Confront your problems. Keep it pushing. One argument on a fucking boxing voice or on a show, even if I was to get cooked, roasted, or if I was wrong, one show doesn't define me. I'm gonna be on tomorrow. The fuck? Like, people think like, oh, if you get cooked one time, oh, it's over for you. No. I've been cooked before. I've been chewed out before. So what? I'm not right in everything I do. I never went on and claimed I know the best about boxing. I'm the great man. Listen, if you follow my show, my entire show knows me. They know my journey, and that's what I made this YouTube channel for. I was like, join me on my journey. I'm just a man that's trying to meet the best fighters in the world. I'm just a fighter. And I decided to do this. My father was a boxer. I got little golden gloves. Now, I'm not going to say my shit was down. Yeah, my shit, that was the best golden glove on the fucking planet. Yeah. Right? And, I had unfortunate events in my life, and here I am. But I take you guys on my journey come with me, join me as I go around to these gyms and see these fights and interview these fighters and shit. And as I learn more every day in the sport of boxing, there's so many fighters, so many fucking names, and it's just a lot. And all the weight divisions, 17 weight divisions, and then the Brazier weight division, I got to start taking serious. I don't know one fighter in that weight division, to tell you the truth. Not one. No, I don't know a fucking fighter in that weight division. Um, and I gotta get more familiar with like 170 again. Once I mean 175 and 160 and the 168, and it's just a lot of boxing day in and day out that I take in all the time. You know what I mean? And like I just want to get better. Just talk about the best fighters in the world uh and shit like that. And look where I'm at today. I got to address this fucking cornball shit. You guys think I really want to be doing this shit? Nah, fuck that, bro. I don't want to be talking about this dude, but it's just they're smearing my name so much with all these like bickering and lies and just real childish behavior, borderline girl shit, like where do they make men like that? Where? What city is it cool to do that? Talk behind a person's back, don't confront them, make up anything, lie, and then have the audacity to say, well, if you had an issue with me, well, then you should have called so and so, addressed him, then he would have called me, rather than you stepping to me. Where the fuck do they do that at? Type it in the chat. I want to know what city the gangsters get down like that. Because from Newark, New Jersey, we don't get down like that. And in the Bean in Boston, I can tell you personally, we don't get down like that. You got to come outside. Or you can move. I've seen that a lot. You can move out the neighborhood. That happens all the time. Unfortunately, I was in the neighborhood all my life. Just never moved out. Didn't want to. Didn't want to. I was okay right where I was. Everybody's like, I want to get out the hood. I'm like, I want to stay. I'm okay. Shit. That's where the money was at. I was good. But you got to grow up as a man. And then there's one part of me that I will not share with you guys. And not unless like we were like off air or whatever. And like I got a couple guys that call me on WhatsApp and shit. And they know why I really do this boxing shit for and why I really left the city. It wasn't all just the house and the money. There's a key ingredient in my life why I stopped everything. There's a person I live for that my their life is more important than my own. That's where I had to get in my life to change my ways. I started loving someone more than myself. And I honestly felt that. I remember when I was growing up, I was dating girls and shit. I would always tell them I love them. They want to hear that because I'm trying to get the buns. I'm gonna tell you whatever you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gone. You know, um, I've said many lies. Um, but when I finally found something that was stronger than my love for the person was so strong that I couldn't see anything else. And in a weird way, it made me the weakest I've ever been in my life, if you could understand that. The one thing I loved was my weakness. It would crumble my whole world. You take that person out of my life, I'm done. I'm done. I have nothing else to live for. That's how I feel. Uh and it never gonna be a woman like my wife or whatever. Yeah, I love her, but not like that. I don't love my wife like that. And I don't mean that in a bad way, honey. I love you. Trust me, I love you. But she is my weakness. I I don't know what I would do. And and that's what fucking got me here, man. Got me calmed down in life too, and that was probably one of the main things. She makes me so weak. The fear of something happening to her or somebody just it'll make me like snap. And I love her. I love this person so much that I was, you know, I can't say I was willing because I fucking actually did it. I gotta stop saying that to myself. Edwin, stop saying that. You fucking did it, kid. You fucking did it. You got out of them places, bro. No matter how you did it, bro. So give yourself some credit, Edwin. Give yourself some credit. Yeah, but that's real change sometimes comes from within, but sometimes you can't change as a person. You might have to use something else to get you there until you're able to love yourself again. I didn't love myself for a long time. I really didn't give two shits. Once I saw my best friend get killed in the hallway and I saw his face get ripped apart, I sat there and I held him like, and like, I watched like so many of my friends die and shit, get killed out of nightclubs, whatever, in the street, fucking McDonald's parking lot, gunned down in a car. Like, I seen a lot of my friends die and shit. Like, life, it kind of gets you fucked up and shit, has you thinking in a weird way, like your life is not important anymore, and you live for beef in a weird way. I was young, it was fucking stupid. I think back at it, but um, I didn't love myself. I didn't care. And then this one thing came into my life that showed me like empathy, compassion, remorse, love. And I was like, when you like don't care about living your life hurting people or hurting others, or you just don't give a fuck about shit, right? And then something comes into your life that you're like, wow, I wouldn't want anybody to hurt this person or say anything to them or anything. Then you start to realize you're like, do unto others as you would want unto yourself. That's when I learned that lesson. That's when I learned that I really understood that lesson. And I thought that if I do good, nobody would do something to the thing I love. Long as I wasn't doing bad, you live by the gun, you'll die by the gun. You live by the pen, you'll die by the pen. I guarantee it. Whatever you live by, typically, and if you live a good, humble life, then, you know, but bad shit always happens to some people, but still, try to be better about yourself. And that's what I did. That's when that lesson in life really like struck me. You know what I mean? It really like, and I think that that's one of the lessons I learned in life too, like at that time. But because I found something that I love more than myself. Yeah. And and as men, we talk about our who we are. We live to protect our families. We live to protect the family name. I do. Um, and most importantly, we live to protect our character as individuals. And the only reason why I'm making this video and shit is because, like I said, I felt like I had to protect my character. But this will be the last time I address it. I don't care what he says after this. Nah, apologies can be made, whatever, and shit could happen. And I'm going to keep it pushing the same way if I was to accept your apology. It's going to be the same way. Like, I don't got nothing to talk about with him. Nothing. I already see we're not on the same level. He talks about you can't joke with us or take a joke. You know, I'm me, I'm the Hatrix, I'm on this and that. Well, then if you then take the joke, take the things I said and keep it pushing. But you can't, can you? You couldn't keep your mouth shut, could you? You had to go on and talk about me again. But I'm not important. I get it. I get it. I get it, my man. Yo, I get that a lot, bro. Yeah. You ain't the first dude that hated on me because I was better than him. Come on, man. But hey, it is what it is. Well, now we could definitely talk. We could definitely talk about the monster, man. Well, let's talk boxing. Let's talk boxing. Yeah, I'm done talking with this dude. Matter of fact, let's get back to boxing because I got a lot to talk about Naoya Inoue and his situation right now that's starting to like um now a lot of the boxing world right now seems to like believe that Naoya Inoue's cloak of invincibility has been lifted because of the fact out of his last 3 fights he was dropped twice. And then ironically, when you get one shot, you get really typically one shot against the monster Naoya Inoue. You get one shot against them, right? And no man has ever really got another shot but one. Nonito Donaire. He's the only fighter that got to fight the Japanese superstar twice. Now, although his next match, he's not fighting the same guy. He's scheduled to fight MJ Akmandalia, right? The thing is, he's going up against the same coach in Joel Diaz. Joel Diaz trained Roman Cardin, and he also trains MJ. So, as a coach, Joel Diaz is getting a second look and a second crack back to back at the monster Naoya Inoue. That's a little dangerous, right? Because it's one thing to see the Naoya Inoue, it's, like see him on TV, right? And it's another thing to be in front of him in the ring, you know? Um, so Joel Diaz, he was there live in person. He's watching Naoya Inoue very close. He's looking at the speed, the power, his mannerisms, flaws. What is he doing? What is he not doing? Because Joel Diaz's mind is working different. He's not just thinking as a fighter. He's got a better viewpoint and a better perspective. And as a coach, when you're calm and you're not in the fight, you can think better. So the coach is seeing things you're not seeing. So sometimes you get in the corner, you ask your guy, yo, what do you see? How do you feel? What the coach is seeing and what your experience, sometimes we can talk about it. Sometimes there's nothing to talk about. You ever see those fights where the coach is not saying absolutely nothing to his pupil? And the reason why he doesn't do that is because there's nothing to talk about. All our training and our game, you know what to do. I don't got to talk about our game plan over a microphone, never know who's listening, and tell the other dude in the corner, that I'm not going to give away anything. There's microphones and a camera right on my face in this fight. We've already talked about this. You know how I wanted you to fight from here. Now, if things start going left and the coach needs to talk to him and tell him, we got to make adjustments. I need you to do this more. I need you to do this more. Because the fighters, we train them in the gym to throw the right punches, good form. We study situations, key moments, We work on drills, pressure, speed, how to deal with power. And we do all of that on the night of the fight. It's up to you to put your fight. Now, let me see. Show me everything you learned. Show me everything we taught you. Go put it together. That part is the fighter's part to do. You see? He's not like a wind-up robot that you fucking go jab, jab, jab. Now go out there. No. He's got to develop his own style. He's got to come out and, right? So, Naoya Inoue, I talked about where he's at right now as a fighter. Naoya Inoue knows more about fighting and more about the art of fighting than I know in this little pinky. This man, the way he thinks in the ring, he's got to be reading these guys' body language, and some of these punches you got to throw them without seeing. You just got to believe the shot's going to be there at times. There's a lot of different ways boxing can unfold, right? But Naoya Inoue, right? He's so good and so skilled, right? That I bet at some point he gave up on the fact that he was going to meet himself. The entire time he's training, winning, coming up, eventually you're going to run into yourself. Just like I used to think I was a Billy Badass all the time and want to go out to cities with all my jewelry and shit, because if I'm in my city, I'm going to wear it. No, dumbass, like, you're going to run into yourself. Like, chill, like, right? Trust me, you're going to run into yourself, right? And I did. So, Naoya Inoue, he definitely got to a point where I feel he's starting to fall in love with his power, and he's trying to shorten things a little more. Now, what does history tell you about Naoya Inoue? The history tells me that since he's been in 122 pounds, his fights have been going longer. He's been knocking the guys out. Yes, he's been knocking the guys out, but his fights are longer now. I remember when he was like at, what was it, 118, 115 and shit. He was dusting through these dudes. One round. You wouldn't get out of 3 rounds with Naoya Inoue down at 118, 115. Those fighters weren't making it out of nowhere, bro. I think his first title fight went 6 rounds. And that's still under the average he's putting up now. That you gotta admit, Naoya Inoue's punching power is still there at 122, but these guys are a bit stronger. And he's not knocking them out the way he used to, right? So it was a process with Stephen Kubo Fulton. He had to break Stephen Kubo Fulton throughout 8 rounds to put him away. Then Marlon Tapales, you know what I'm saying? He dropped him early in the fight. What was it, 4th round or some shit? 7th, right? It went to the 11th, right? So the fights are lasting longer. And then he's breaking them down, and then boom, they can't take the punishment no more. And down goes Marlon Tapales. The Yi Young Kim fight even took a little bit more than what he would have liked it to be. Yi Young Kim fights Naoya Inoue at 115, 118. He doesn't make it out the first round. No way. He doesn't make it out the first round. But you got to acknowledge that, yeah, these guys can take punches. Roman Cardenas said it wasn't his power. Same shit Stephen Kubo Fulton said. And when Stephen Kubo Fulton said it, I was like, he's just a hater. Right? I was like, Stephen, he just doesn't want to admit that the Japanese dude is powerful. So you hear it again. And Roman Cardin says it wasn't the power that was, it was the overwhelming strong shots. It was like not getting knocked out by a sledgehammer, but getting hit with hammers all night. Two hammers. So pick your poison. Would you rather get hit with one sledgehammer and get knocked out? Or would you rather get hit with two hammers all night? That shit's gotta hurt, right? So that's what he was dealing with. It was an overwhelming amount of offense, and everything hurt. It wasn't hurting him enough to knock him out. I bet at times he would have wished, just shoot me, like just shoot me already, like knock me out already, right? Because this shit is right. I remember when I used to fight though. In the first round, second round, everything fucking hurt. The jab hurt. I remember. But after a while, like of fighting, even sparring, I didn't feel the punches no more. I just saw flashes. It's just like pow, and it'd be like a flash, and like the crowd would go, ooh, like that. And that's how I knew it was a bit, but I didn't really feel his power. It was like pow. I was like, all right. But after like the second round, you kind of don't feel the punches no more. But the first punches you get, like pop, pop, they hurt. I remember that. They always hurt. And I think that Naoya Inoue, he really needs to adapt to what's going on. Adapt to and just know that, remember, Naoya Inoue never talked about knocking people out. They would say to him, are you going to knock this guy out? And he goes, if the knockout happens, it happens, you know. And then leading into the Roman Cardin fight, Naoya Inoue was saying, I like Roman Cardin. He's not on my level. I'm going to knock him out. And I was kind of taken back by it. I was like, did they fly you into the U.S. and tell you, prep you? You know what you got to say? You got to knock him out? Or did he say that? You know what I mean? Like, were they trying to like promote? And I'm a little taken back by it because and then he goes in there and gets dropped, gets up, makes the right adjustments, and wins the fight. So I'm like thinking, I'm saying to myself, maybe Naoya Inoue has to like settle down a little, maybe. And I'm not saying that ever like run or be like less attracted. No. The way I would like Naoya Inoue and the kind of focus I would like to see him fight, to tell you the truth, was when he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton. He was so on his toes. His distance was right. He was snapping the jab on the tip of his toes, darting in and out like this. And he would pop, 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 like that to Stephen. And he would hit the jab and then dart back just in case you threw a punch. Your punch was going to probably end up like 3 inches from his face. And that's when he was going to cut underneath or over the top. And that's how he did Stephen Kubo Fulton. He was very, very sharp. And his placement, he was always in the right position to throw the next punch every time in that fight, it seemed. His pressure was good. He was impressive when he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton. I thought Stephen Kubo Fulton, I had Naoya Inoue in the fight, but I thought Stephen Kubo Fulton was going to do a lot better. The way he shut him down, I mean, Stephen Kubo Fulton, for all his accolades, efforts, and everything, he came into the fight the champion, the unified champion, right? And he was undefeated, and he was arguably on some people's pound for pound list. I think he was arguing that he wanted to be ranked higher than 6 on the pound for pound list, but that at the time he was like maybe like 8 or 9 or 10. So to the people that say Naoya Inoue hasn't fought a pound for pound fighter, at the time, Stephen Kubo Fulton, wherever you placed him on the list, leading into that fight, they were chalking him up like a pound for pound fighter. But the performance that Naoya Inoue put on quickly killed that notion. The next day, they weren't talking about no kind of pound for pound shit for Stephen Kubo Fulton, seeing that the fact that he didn't win a single round. Shit, he didn't win 30 seconds in the fight. He had a couple moments, even popped Naoya Inoue's head back with a nice little shot off subtle movements to the right. He went to the right, snapped his head back. That's about it. It was about it. And Naoya Inoue definitely, like, in that fight, the way he was fighting, that's the Naoya Inoue I know. That he was so defensively sound. He wasn't dropping his hands. He was, when he exchanges, he knows, he was Roman Cardin all night. Once he dropped Naoya Inoue, every time he shot that left check hook, I was nervous. Can't lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was nervous. I was seeing that check hook come out like that from Roman Cardin. Bro, that shit was missing by like that much sometimes. And I'm thinking, if he caught Naoya Inoue with that shot, I'm not sure he would have got up. But Naoya's cat-like reflexes, and it's just his skill. He's alert and aware. When he got dropped, you can obviously see he got greedy. He was looking for the knockout. When Naoya Inoue got dropped in that second round against Roman Cardin, he was looking to knock out Naoya Inoue. Go back and watch it. He did things in that sequence he rarely does. He's not gonna chase the dude like that. Like, he chases everybody when he has them hurt. Just like when he had McDonald, he hit him on the top of the head right there. Then Naoya like ran up to, he was hurt. In this sequence, Roman Cardin wasn't hurt. Naoya was pushing it. He was looking for the knockout and got dropped. That was a big punch, bro. When watching it there in real time, I was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. But my man got up, man, and he handled his business. So now Diaz is going to get another crack at Naoya Inoue with MJ. Now, Roman Cardin made me a fan. That dude made me a fan. I'm following him on Instagram, on his platforms and shit now. And that dude, that Mexican dude, I gotta give it to him, bro. He shouldn't have been in there with this guy. He wasn't ready to fight a fighter such as Naoya Inoue. He should have never been in that ring. For him to go in there and do that, Roman Cardenas, he will be champion one day. Soon as Naoya leaves the division, goes 126, Roman Cardenas is going to get one of those belts. I guarantee it. His will, the way he handled himself, such a skilled fighter. He was outspeed, outgunned, outpowered. Well, not outpowered. He had his own power. I got to give him that. He has his own power. I don't think he was outpowered. But he was definitely outclassed. And when you're outclassed by that much, the way he dealt with it, fucking impressive, bro. Impressive, Roman Cardenas. Impressive. Oh, yeah. I can see it. I see you, brother. I can see the warrior you are. Yeah, man. And I don't know if the ref saw it. I guess he didn't. But I kind of thought that Roman Cardenas was playing possum in the fight. The ref had to really pay attention to those last shots. But, in the case of Roman Cardenas, I can't lie. I like Naoya Inoue and everything, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and fucking lie. No, I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. I think that the fight could have went on more. Yes, I think it could have. Not sure if the result would have been any different. I think Naoya Inoue probably would have picked him apart and eventually knocked him out. But the way that Roman was still swinging, you can't count that out. I honestly can say he didn't check out of the fight. Roman was still swinging for the fence, and he was still swinging strong and hard. And if you can say that let him go out on his shield, because you never know if he can land that punch. And then you turn around and say, well, nah, he was getting his ass whooped, save him for the next. Well, I'm still with the lucky punch theory, because he did it in the second round, live, right there, in that fight. No one thought he was going to do that, and he did that. So if he can do that in the second round, you can't tell me he doesn't have a shot of trying to do it again. It's up to Naoya Inoue not to get caught with that shot. That's all. And we would have to see it. And although Roman Cardin would have took more damage, yeah, he would have took a lot more damage, and he probably would have got stopped or finished by Naoya Inoue. That's what I think would have happened. But I wasn't gonna say that Roman Cardin was out of the fight, or that he checked out, or he was looking for a way out. None of that shit. Could he have continued? Yes. Could the ref have let the fight continue a little more? Perhaps. I kind of like the fact that they saved him, because if imagine we had that button in real life to find out what would have happened. You ever ask yourself that? Like, if I kept playing this, and like in poker or something, right? You're like, I fold. I wasn't going to get this straight. Shit, I need a 9. They flip the card and show you it was a 9. And you're like, ah, right. So, and then like the odds of that happening were against you. So you decided to pack it up and play another hand that at least you had a better hand. And you fucking land your card. So you never know if Roman Cardenas could have landed that shot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he was going to beat him, but there was a possibility, yes. I can't avoid that. But save the fighter from himself? Yes. I'd rather allow Roman Cardenas to pack it up. You showed me your championship material, Roman Cardenas. Today might not be your night, but I'm going to save you from yourself, because eventually you're going to be champion and you're going to have to defend this belt. With every fight, all the damage you take throughout your career, at some point you're going to have to pay for that. Okay? So it was better to call, I believe, the ref. I saw Roman Cardenas walking through the lobby after the fight with my own 2 eyes. I saw him. Yo, this whole shit right here, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it was purple. It was like blacking, bluing. It looked like it was getting worse by the seconds while he was walking. It was just flaring up. Once all the adrenaline got out of him, he was walking with some dude and he had his arm around him like that. And I saw him and I was like, damn, my phones were all dead at the time. I didn't get no fucking, and then when he turned like that, I saw like underneath, he had these black glasses on. I couldn't really see his face, but when he turned like that, I could see underneath here, yo, it was purple. It was like a fucking thing right underneath his eye. And this is like a few minutes after the fight. I only hung around in that arena after they like couldn't made me like turn around from downstairs. The fighters left from T-Mobile and they started walking through the hotels. That's where you saw him. He was walking through. And I'm over there in the thing, like talking to people and shit and seeing where the crowd was building up and stuff. And you could see all the damage. He was like, he took a lot of damage. Oh, I'm telling you, bro, this whole shit was fucked up, bro. So now Joel Diaz has another look at him, and he has a different fighter than MJ. What do I think? MJ's probably a better boxer right now at this point than Roman Cardenas. But I don't think that MJ got more power than Roman Cardenas. No. I think Roman Cardenas is the bigger puncher from MJ and him. I don't see MJ that kind of puncher, right? Because Naoya Inoue has an iron chin. He's been cracked by some of the best fighters the weight divisions had to offer. he never went down like that. He never went down like that. And although Naoya Inoue was out of position, when he went to like overextend to hit him, notice where Naoya Inoue's feet are. They're like this. They're like that. He was in the process of moving this foot like that when he got caught. And he just dropped. So, and I know Naoya Inoue has an iron chin, and as you can see on full display, he has amazing recuperating power. Like, there's a lot of guys that take shots like that. They come out in the second round, and they got Bambi legs. Their legs are going everywhere. They can't get it together. I know guys that get hit with a shot like that come out the next round, and they running. They trying to still recuperate from the shot. Naoya Inoue came out the third round, went right to him. Straight to him. Ding, ding. Hello, I'm here. Let's go. There was no running. And that's what the world is starting to fall in love. And all of us that already know him, that's what we like him for. His forward aggression, that real samurai way of destroying your opponent. And he really puts it together very well. You know, Naoya Inoue, what can I say about the man? His career is that of legends. You know, what he's done in the sport, it's like, it's truly video game stuff, man. I mean, where are you going to get your fighter in his sixth professional fight for a world title when he was like, what, all of 20 years old or some shit? Naoya Inoue fought for his first world title. He's 32 years old today, and he has not stopped fighting for world titles since the ripe age of 20 years old. Since he fought that first fight, all his fights have been world title fights through 4 weight divisions. In his 8th professional fight, he was already a 2-division world champion, what it takes most fighters a career to achieve. Typically, guy would have 27 fights, 30 fights, been dominated in 1 weight division, then choose to move up. Tank Davis just became a 2-division world champion when he fought Frank the Ghost Martin. Look how old Tank Davis is, and look how many fights he's had. Until then, he only had 1 division. The other 2 belts at 140 was a regular, and the other one at 135, as we all know, was the Reggie belt, because Devin Haney at the time had all 4. So until he got the real one, Tank, look how long it took him. Look how long it took Terrence Crawford to move up 1 division. This Japanese dude did it in 8 fights. It's actually 7. He went into the fight, his 7th fight. After the fight, that was 8. That was his 8th scheduled fight. He was a 2-division world champion. Fucking ridiculous, bro. And then you're up 4 divisions right now. How did you do that with not having a tune-up fight? How did you go up every weight division and have a consistent record of world title fights that, if I'm not stupid, if you move up to the next weight division and vacate your belt, when you're going into that fight, you're no longer a champion. So how did you do that on day 1? Oh, there's only one way to do that. How? Fight the champion right away. Who does that? Who moves up from 1 weight division and goes and fights the champion right away? Championship fighters, elite fighters. That's who does that. That's the kind of men that take those kind of risks. You don't have to do that. Why don't you do it the old-fashioned way, like Floyd did it, like all the other guys did it? We usually take a tune-up fight, a lesser fight, get acclimated to the division, feel the bigger guy's power, you know, beat him, get that confidence, then challenge the champion. That's normal. That's the right way to do it. That's the recommended way. You know what Naoya Inoue said? Fuck precaution. Yeah, you guys do it your recommended way. You know what I want? Who is the best fighter, the best champion you have? Who is he? They said, this guy. He said, well, then that's the guy I want. They said, you don't have to do that. That's the guy I want. He wipes out everybody at 118, goes to 122, kicks open the front door, and what does he do? He does the same shit again. He walked into 122. What did he do? Who is the best 122 pounder you have in this division? Oh, it's Stephen Kubo Fulton. That's who I want to fight first. He didn't fight Luis Ponteranari first. He didn't fight TJ Doheny first. He didn't fight Roman Cardin first. No. Naoya Inoue walked into 122, and in 6 months, he had all 4 belts. 6 months. What has taken fighters a lifetime to do. In his second weight division, he did that. 6 months? Are you joking? Didn't you just have all 4 belts at the lower weight division where you just came from 118? So you had all 4 down there, and you come up to a new weight division, and you got all 4 now. But yet he's not good. That's when you're so good that the rest of the people, when they look at the rest of the competition, in order to explain that in their own head, everybody else had to suck. In order for them to justify what Naoya Inoue is doing, well, then there's quickly write off his success. What they say was nobody was there. What would you just say? Nobody's there in the division? Isn't Junto Nakatoni in 118 right now? Isn't Bam Bam Rodriguez in 115? Isn't a lot of these great fighters even shit? They're all there. Not one of them, and I mean not one of them, can mirror Naoya Inoue's success. Not even Naoya Inoue's kid brother, Takuna. He's there too. They're all there right freaking now. You're going to tell me Junto Nagatoni is a garbage fighter. He ain't nobody. You're going to tell me that Bam Bam Rodriguez is a nobody. What is your, how do you view Bam Bam Rodriguez as a fighter? Please tell me, share it in the comments, right? How do you view Junto Nagatoni as a fighter? Where do you place them? How good are they? Those kind of guys. Please, I would like to know. Because wherever you place those guys, or however good you view those guys, guess what? Naoya Inoue's done way more than them. Way better than them dudes. Them dudes got to beat the same dudes Naoya Inoue beat to get where he's at. You're going to have to do what he did. And they can't do it, can they? They can't do it. Junto's a 3-division world champion right now. Junto got a belt here, did that. I think he got 2 belts at one of the divisions, I think. He should be fighting right now to unify with that other Japanese dude, right? So they're probably going to unify. Let me check this out. Hold on. I didn't have anything up this morning. But what is his name? Okay, Yoshiki, the WBO. Yoshiki is the WBO. Raul Suka. Please forgive me for pronouncing these Japanese guys' names. I'm I'm learning. I'm trying to like really like get these names down and stuff. Um, well, just to keep it in its, because I don't want to, I don't like messing up people's names, but I have a bad thing with that. So I'm just for like argument's sake, all the Japanese fighters at 118, all the champions are Japanese. So they're all Japanese. So this is going to be Japanese on Japanese crime. You know what I mean? Everybody just back up, let them handle their business. You know what I mean? So Junto's going in now, right now, to try to unify. His coach said, if he can't get that, then the Naoya Inoue fight is a fight that maybe possibility be interested in. Although I don't think Naoya Junto's really on his level just yet. Not yet. Not to say he won't be there. Give Junto a little bit more time. He'll give Naoya Inoue a good fight. Perhaps beat him. Perhaps. I like Junto, man. I think he's a fucking great fighter. I just gotta admit, Naoya Inoue does stuff just slightly better. He's a bit more smarter. He's just a crafty veteran, Naoya Inoue. And Junto is good, but I can see it. He's a step or two behind Naoya still. Still. Um and I just want the best fight for Naoya Inoue. I want to see the best fighting the best, and I want to see Junto have the best opportunity against Naoya. I don't want him to fight Naoya early. I don't want that shit. I want a good, great, competitive match. Even if Naoya Inoue, when they was to meet, was to wipe him out, at least I would feel that Junto was at the best he was gonna be. At least I would feel that way. I would feel like win, lose, or draw, even if Junto lost. At least I would be like he was ready for him. Just Naoya was just a better fighter. At that point, you got to admit that. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't gonna be on his level. But like, I don't want them to rush him into that fight. Just like I wouldn't want them to rush Bam Bam Rodriguez in with Junto. I want Bam to acclimate to the division, fight guys at 118 that are bigger, and beat the other Japanese champions for Bam Rodriguez before he fights a fighter like Junto. I won't accept it. If Junto beats Bam and they just come up and he beats Bam, I'm gonna be mad with that. Because I'm gonna feel like you didn't give Bam Rodriguez enough time to acclimate to the division. You attacked him early. Nah, I want fair fights. I want fair fights on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with strong competition? What's wrong with that? Why is it that it has to always be like people like when one dude is just more skilled than the other and knock the other dude out? That's not a fight to me. That's not a fight. That's one guy more skilled than the other. Why don't we make it even? Why don't we, if you're so tough and you're such a badass, fight somebody your own side, your own skill. Let me see what you about. And I just want somebody to come in there and fight Naoya Inoue because that's his dream fight. I know as a warrior, that's what he's looking for. He has to be. I know when I was fucking, I used to ask myself, are you him? Are you him? Are you going to be that guy that whoops my ass? Right? I was looking for it. I was looking for it. Careful what you look for because you just might get it. Boy, I got it. I went out looking for it one night and I got it. Oh, they gave it to me. Yeah. Oh, my man still tells me to this day I won the fight. I don't feel like I won that fight. I didn't feel like I won it. I mean, I didn't feel like I won it. Everybody said I won it, but because he gave up at the end. But still, I walked away like, nah. I walked, he gave up first. It was just, I was just more, but if I'm being honest, that motherfucker pieced me up, bro. He was fast as fuck, boy. Like fast, bro. I, bro, I even resorted to dirty tactics. You're damn right I did. You're damn right I did. I used the elbow and everything. Um, I was getting my ass whooped that day. Like I said, I still won the fight. I just walked away like not feeling like I did. Cause I knew had he had a better gas tank, that was my ass. He beat he, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna ever tell him he beat me, right? In my head though, I felt like, yeah, like I said, like you think you're the baddest motherfucker on the planet, wait until you run into yourself. He's out there, you know? And that's why I say today, like, I talk about boxing, fighting, everything like that. But honestly, guys, I tell you guys, I say it all the time. Like, you know, um, I guess when you experience enough of this, you've been in some real fights. I don't care to be in another fight again in the rest of my life. I hope I don't have to punch nobody else in the face. I hope I don't get punched in the face. Uh, Fighting can be violent, and I hear people talking real like because as that man, your ego inside makes you're like a beast. You're like, say some shit like, but when it's time to fight, that's when reality snaps in. You realize, fuck, I'm either out of shape, he's fucking me up, this shit hurts. Fighting is not something you get hit, your shit splits, and you want to quit, and this motherfucker's still hitting you. Um, you realize the shit happens in fighting. So, uh, when you see enough of it, you care not to be. You know what I mean? I don't. I uh, I no longer want to be a tough guy. If I have to turn into him, yeah, I will, of course. But I no longer want to be a tough guy. I don't want to. I don't want to do any of that shit. I'll leave that for the young boys. You know what I mean? I've had my fair shares. And I I I I love the sweet science, and I study fighters. I just want to know all the time. Now I'll watch that move and I'll go in my gym and I'll go and I'll practice it, and I'll practice that same shot over and over because I want my body to be able to respond if I'm ever in a situation. I've learned the difference between thinking you're a fucking ninja and actually being one. I've learned that valuable lesson in my life too, where that you can think I'll get up and I'll fuck this dude up, but then all of a sudden you throw two or three punches and you find yourself gasping for air. Then all of a sudden, if you miss those two or three punches, your technique is not coming out the way you're thinking. In here, you're a fucking ninja, but out here, it's not matching up. The only way you're gonna get yourself to match up here to here, you gotta practice it in the gym. You got to keep the repetition, your body, your flow. You got to know what it's like to snap your hand because you got to understand that every time you throw a punch, there's a part of your body slowing it down to help because your body doesn't want you to get hurt. You ever punch a wall and you could punch a hole in the wall or you could punch a concrete wall, right? But there's still something that releases. Some people got no, their body doesn't stop and they just break their hand against a wall because of rage. Now they've completely lost control. That's when you break your hand. But if you're just mad and you go like this, you ever notice your body protects you from yourself? You could be mad and went to and your body slowed your hand down by itself. It's like boom, because you don't want to break your hand because you got a little bit of control, right? So if you're not fighting or punching a bag, your body doesn't know how hard you throw the punch. It doesn't know how to retrain because your body's not trained to throw it. So if you're not training and you're just trying to like throw it like that, you're not gonna get that You're going to think violent behavior swing. It's not going to come out like that. It's not. Some of us can still crack, but after the 1-2, they're typically lost. Typically, they're like 1-2, they'll throw like one punch, then they're standing there going like this at each other. Both guys are like, fear of going in, and I see that all the time. So it's the knowing that in the art of fighting, you have to train. You have to condition yourself, and you got to work out. You got to keep your limbs mobile. You want to keep them, you know what I'm saying? And I go in there not because I want to fight anybody, but because if I ever have to defend myself or if I got to turn into that person, then I'm ready. My form, I keep my form ready and I work on it because I want to react. And that's what these fighters and coaches look for. Very dangerous when you fight the same team. One guy that had multiple shots at Mayweather, in fact, was Robert Garcia. I think Robert Garcia in Mayweather's history came up against Mayweather the most. In Mayweather's entire career, he went up against Robert Garcia in multiple ways, whether it was a fighter, Robert Garcia was a coach, numerous fighters Robert Garcia trained with. He's had more cracks at Mayweather than any coach, I think, or any fighter. Time and time again, Robert Garcia went up against Mayweather and lost. As a fighter, coach, like I say, in different variations but in one way or another, Robert Garcia has competed against the Mayweathers. And yeah, they definitely. So that's kind of, you got to take that in consideration. When Joel Diaz was sitting in that corner with MJ, he was watching Naoya Inoue real close. So it doesn't really mean that that they're gonna beat Naoya Inoue, just like Robert Garcia couldn't beat Mayweather. He couldn't beat him. So Joel Diaz might get another shot at him and not gonna beat Naoya Inoue. I don't think that MJ's gonna beat him, but they're gonna be better prepared. They're gonna have a better understanding of Naoya Inoue, 100%. Whether or not they could beat him, that's a different fucking story. Just because he's, you got to build that kind of game plan. You know what I mean? But I'm just pointing it out. It is a factor. It is. And when you get to see a guy and then he's fighting him right away, it's not like he's fighting him. Naoya Inoue fought 2 more fights and you fought 2 more fights with another fighter. Then you came back to relive another shot at Naoya Inoue. And then you would have to remember what you saw. But this is back to back. Joel Diaz coached Roman Cardenas, and he's coaching Akmadalia, MJ. So it's back to back. So he's got a good, so as a coach, like my mind, the way I think, if I had that opportunity, I would feel that much better. Doesn't mean that my fighter can beat Naoya Inoue, but I got a better understanding of what I just saw. What to deal with. What was his strengths? Where was his weaknesses? What was Naoya Inoue doing? It's very difficult to build a game plan to a fighter such as Naoya Inoue because he doesn't have one style. It's like when you prepare to fight Luis Pantera Nari, right? It's one style. When you prepare to fight fighters like Errol Spence Jr., you can take Errol Spence Jr. tapes. He's the same fighter every single damn time, bro. Every coach knew, they just couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop Errol. You knew what he was going to do. You just couldn't beat him. Only one guy beat Errol. That's it. But Errol rocked everyone with that same style. They knew what he was doing. Just can't beat him. Right? So it's hard to prepare for Naoya Inoue when he doesn't have one style. Naoya Inoue is like a chameleon. He'll turn into you. Fuck around, he'll turn right into you. There's been a lot of fights I've watched him do exactly what the fighter in front of him is doing. And he does it better than him. That must fuck with their head. Like, I wonder if they pick up on it. Like, he's doing exactly what I'm doing. Go watch a lot of his fights, Naoya Inoue's fights. He beat Stephen Kubo Fulton in the Philly Shell. When the hell does Naoya Inoue fight in the Philly Shell? He did it in the Paul Butler fight because he was trying to make Paul Butler open up. He went into it a little bit, but that's not his style. Naoya Inoue fights dudes in their style. Elite fighter, bro. It's hard to prepare for a guy like that. That's very difficult. As a coach, trying to prepare to fight a guy like that would keep me up at night. Naoya Inoue would keep me up at night. How would I beat him? First, I would need a fighter that brings something to the table. Like Junto. First, I need a fighter like that. Then I got to devise a game plan to beat this dude. The one thing that Marlon Tapales did that a lot of people, like, I guess, casual boxing fans, there's some big boxing channels that got casuals like myself and a lot of other people that are on it, that think that Marlon Tapales, Naoya Inoue was making him do other things, but that's not the case. Marlon Tapales, what he was doing as a boxer, he was switching it up during rounds. He wasn't allowing Naoya Inoue to get a beat on what he was doing. That's why Marlon Tapales came out every round and he started to give Naoya Inoue different looks. He came out like this in one round with the high guard. The next one, his hands were down. The other one, he was like this. The other one, he was, he kept switching it up. But I think that Marlon Tapales realized that in the moment. I don't actually think he trained to switch up his style every round. It was kind of like a situation when Ali invented the rope-a-dope in the moment with George Foreman. It wasn't something that Ali anticipated. It was something before the bell started in the first round. He realized something. He said, I'm going to let Big George gas himself out. I'm going to give him some shots, talk shit to him, and let him swing big. Let him get tired. Then I'm going to make my move. But Muhammad Ali came up with that in the middle, in the fight, in the moment. He made that up in the moment. I think Marlon Tapales realized quick, Naoya Inoue's cat is getting a beat on what I'm doing. You can't swing or dip a certain way too many times fighting Naoya Inoue. He's going to set you up. He's going to push you this way to make you dip to go into his uppercut. And he set you up. That's called the setup. He set that punch up. He's gonna and what kept Naoya Inoue at bay at times in the Marlon Tapales fight was that he was switching it up. He was switching it up to the point where that Naoya Inoue had to reset and figure out what he was doing. But I'm telling you, the minute Naoya Inoue realized Motherfucker, all you're doing is improvising. All you're doing is improvising, which means you don't know how to fight like that. You're making that shit up, Marlon Tapales, as you go. Meaning you don't have a good defense for it. You don't got a good offense. That's not your style of fighting. You're just improvising. The minute Naoya Inoue realized that he was just improvising, he fucking ran him over, bro. He ran Marlon Tapales over. He was like, because Naoya Inoue was studying him. He was studying Marlon Tapales. And he was like, and he kept doing crazy, stupid shit. And I think right around the 8th round, right around the 7th, well, Marlon Tapales' best round was the 7th round. I remember that. His best round was the 7th round. In fact, I kind of gave that round to him in that fight. I remember. But I think around the 8th, somewhere around there, right around, I can't remember exactly where it was. Naoya, you could see it in his eyes. When he turned around to go to his corner, he gave that smile like to say, he's just improvising. And after that, nothing Marlon Tapales was doing in that fight stood together. Like nothing. Naoya Inoue fucking just steamrolled them. Yeah. Yo. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I just had to like read y'all messages and shit and see what you guys are talking about. I want to say your name so bad. I don't want to. If you could break down the pronunciation of your name, Ki Oi, you could say that two ways. I don't want to say it. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. Oh, I wish I can go to Japan. I gotta get my passport back. I'm gonna put that together. Oshashi, man, I would love to go down to that gym and watch the fighters train there. I know that I might not get a chance to see Naoya Inoue training because he trains privately. So I already know that. I've already talked to people in Japan, like True School Sports, the kid there and shit. He's in Japan right now for the Angela Leo fight. And I've already talked to him about things and like traditions out in Japan, so that if I'm ever out in Japan, I do as the Japanese people do. I don't want to go out to Japan and ruffle no feathers, and I don't want to say anything wrong or bow the wrong way or do something in a different like it would be like going to Puerto Rico and calling me a Dominican. Hey, you're Dominican? What? That would, it's kind of like going to Japan And if I called them Chinese or something, or wore a Chinese suit, or they don't. That's you got to know their cultures. And we watch TVs as American, and we think everything Asian works. No, that could be offensive. That could be offensive, and I could see how that could be offensive. Because if you did that to me and was like, I was like, bro, you really call me Dominican? Like, really? Like, and like, or Mexican, or fucking whatever else didn't have to be Dominican as offensive. Like, if I was offensive to Dominican people, no, you could have called me any other Latin, Peruvian or fucking Colombian. I would have been, bro. Did you just call me Colombian? Like, are you serious? Like, so you want to know? I want to know as much as I can. Like, I didn't know the difference between a Chinese bow and a Japanese bow, how to greet, things like that, and what not to say. Like I recently found out that sake is a fucking drink. I thought sake might have meant hello. I'll be out in Japan, sake. They'd be like, look at this motherfucker want to drink, right? Like, and now I know sake is like a drink, and so I would love to go to Japan, man, but I still want to learn some more things before I step one foot in that place. Because when you're in somebody else's house, act like you got sense. Act like you got some sense. I'm not gonna walk around there like a Billy Badass or anything. I want to be respectful. I want them to invite me back. That's my goal, to be invited back. To be given an opportunity to talk to some of these great fighters up there. Junto's in America though. Junto's in Texas, right? So maybe one day I'll shoot down there and check out Junto. I like Junto, man, a lot. I like him, man. I like him, man. I like that fucking dude. The way he knocked out Andrew Maloney, dude, it looked like his fucking spirit jumped out of his body and took off. Yo, he laid that man out. That was brutal, bro. That dude is gonna pay for that at the end of his life. You're gonna see him in sentences. You guys seen Shane Mosley Senior talk? Have you seen Shane Mosley lately in interviews? He's like, and then the jab. Most of us fight different styles, and you can see the punches, the effects in his speech. You could see it. Shane Mosley is paying for all those wars. You could see it. And though as fighters, we know this. We see our legends. We saw Muhammad Ali for years shaking like this. Oh, it's Parkinson's. Motherfucker, man, listen. That's them George Foreman punches, bro. That's you see what you see Ali like that? That was them George Foreman punches. George Foreman has responsibility for that. And fucking Ken Norton Jr. breaking Ali's jaw. Frazier, I'm cracking it, dropping Ali, them fights with Frazier. All those fights, that's what Ali paid for. Yeah, man. You could see it. You could see it in Roy Jones Jr. Roy still talks pretty good, though. Roy, he didn't really take a lot of damage like these other guys. No. Roy still got his wits pretty good. He's still good. Roy, I think. Yeah, Mike Tyson is still good. Because Mike Tyson never got his ass kicked, neither in practice or in a fight. The only times Mike Tyson ever got his ass kicked were the times he lost in the ring. So just count how many times he ever lost. And those are the little bit of ass whoopings he got. And one of them, he lost the fight, but he was gassed out against that white dude. What was his name? That was shameful to see Tyson go through that. But that's why Tyson got a lot of his wits about himself, because not a lot of people, he didn't go a lot of rounds, a lot of distance. Mike's career was all violence all the time. But he did get punched by a lot of big dudes. Mike might have just had that fucking solid fucking iron head. Fucking Mike, bro. That's my dude, bro. I'm gonna meet him one day. Trust me, you guys. I'm going to meet him. He's the one boxer, one of the boxers that out of all the boxers and promoters I've ever met in my life, Mike Tyson is my. I'll probably be starstruck if I see Mike Tyson. Probably, maybe. Hopefully, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Uh, I just never met him in person. That's all. And I would like to meet Mike Tyson. Yeah, I met a lot of fighters, great fighters. World champions. I've, as you can see in my intro, I've taken pictures with several world champions and shit. I met a lot of good guys. Um, but I never got to meet Mike yet. I just want to go to a fight where he's there. Every time I see a fight that I don't pick to go, fucking Mike's there. I'm like, right? But yeah. The 23-year-old fighter that died in the ring in Japan after the fight. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know how what he died over, right? You know exactly what he died over? He died over in the pursuit of winning the Naoya Inoue trophy and $100,000 bonus. Those two young Japanese fighters were on the undercard of Naoya Inoue's fight that night in Japan. Naoya Inoue fought that night, and they were the co-main event. Do you know that there was a trophy on the line in their fight? The Naoya Inoue trophy. Both those men wanted that trophy. That's kind of like winning the Muhammad Ali trophy in the World Series of Boxing that Naoya Inoue won. Naoya Inoue won the prestigious Muhammad Ali trophy in the World Series of Boxing. So on that night in Japan, they had the Naoya Inoue trophy and an extra bonus $100,000 on the line. Those two men fought to the death to impress Naoya Inoue, to establish themselves on a world stage in Japan, to be the next Japan superstar. That both them men fought to the death, and unfortunately, one of them tragically lost their lives 9 days later after that fight in Japan. If I could pronounce his name correctly, I would. I know exactly who he is. I know exactly what fight it was. I just don't want to mess up or a man's name that has passed away. So out of respect, I'm going to choose not to say his name, but I can tell you the story. I can tell you I know everything about it. I looked it up. I studied it. I study boxing, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're thinking about getting a ticket to see his Japan and match and a match of Naoya Inoue. My advice to you, do it. Do it. Do it. I can say I saw Naoya Inoue live. If he's your favorite fighter and he has he's the guy that does it for you, then go watch him. You're going to kick yourself in the ass if you give up on too many opportunities and he retires. And you don't ever have the opportunity. When Naoya Inoue is gone, he's gone, bro. He's out of the sport. The reason why I chose to go see him in Vegas, I don't know when he's going to come back to America. And I don't got a passport like that. I got to go get one and shit. And go watch him. If I were you, I would have watched him. If he's your favorite fighter or one of your favorite fighters, don't rob yourself of the opportunity. I say, because if you can do it or you can afford it, if if you can't, find a way, whatever. But I remember when Michael Jordan retired suddenly out of the NBA. I didn't think he was going to retire. I was like, yeah, right. He'll just go on another team, and I'll eventually see Michael Jordan. He fucking retired, bro. And I never got to see him in his prime. That always bothered me. That Michael Jordan, I lived through the Michael Jordan era, and I didn't see him play one time live on TV all the time. It's not the same. It's not the same, bro. I've been to the Boston Garden fucking 100,000 times, bro. I've seen the Celtics play. Celtics not even my fucking team, right? I'm a Laker, bro, right? But I still would go with the home team Celtics because I was a Laker by a kid, by my brother, my older brother introduced me to the Lakers. I never really picked my basketball team. My brother picked it for me. When we moved to Boston, I kind of was like on the enemy side. I realized, and I was like, shit. But I like Larry Bird and the Celtics. They was doing a thing. So I would go to the Garden and I would support them. But I never really picked my own basketball team. I never really been a basketball player. The Patriots, I rock with the Patriots. Fuck it, Tom Brady. But once Tom Brady left the sport, I stopped watching football. I haven't watched a single football game. Well, a couple highlights. I don't think I've sat down and watched an entire football game since Tom Brady left the league. And last year, I watched zero amount of football. I never thought I would walk away from football. And once the best that I felt was the best left, I was like, so I get it. I get it. And my advice to you would be go watch them. Once I watched Naoya Inoue in live, check that off my bucket list. I was like, word, now I could watch the rest of boxing. Now I could see everybody else. Once I got that out the way, I did it. Been there, done that. I saw Naoya Inoue live, baby. So now I can concentrate on everything else in boxing. I feel anyway, because I got that out my bucket list. I at least want to see my favorite fighters. I'm gonna go out to see everybody else. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go to a lot of these boxing matches. You guys are gonna see me there. But that was the one guy I wanted to see. So not sure how much it would cost. Top Rank is pretty good with their prices. I bought the $500 seat because I wanted to be up there like that. So I bought that seat because I wasn't taking my wife with me. But if I was taking my wife with me, I probably would have bought two $200 seats or those kind of seats up there, and probably would have been with her. But the reason why I bought that seat, one, it cost me $509 for my seat. My flight to Las Vegas cost me $246 round trip. I got my hotel in Vegas for $116. It was like $90 room with a king size bed in the Westgate Casino Royale, where Elvis stayed. Got me one of them little rooms. Room was tight as fuck. 116. So under $1,000. Under $1,000. Wait, like $200, $300 under $1,000. That's all it took me to get out to Vegas to watch Naoya Inoue. If you're asking, Top Rank ticket prices are pretty decent. And probably the arena you're gonna see Naoya Inoue in Japan, it's gonna be big. So the tickets are not gonna be like outrageous. You're gonna be able to do it. Now, the cost of the flight when you're leaving America to Japan, now that I don't know. I've never flew out to Japan. The room houses, the amount of money, or what the dollar exchange to Japanese money, you would have to look that up. I've never looked anything like that up. But I know that if you go out to Japan, you're going to need Japan money. So you're going to have to trade in. They might accept US dollars. I don't know how that works, brother. I don't know, but I've been to foreign countries before. Just I didn't need a passport to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. And I know you're going to need their currency. So I don't know what the dollar exchange is. You could quickly look it up, I guess. Google that shit. You know what I mean? Right? That's what I would do. But for under $1,000, I got to see Naoya Inoue in Vegas. Yeah. And that's including a round trip back and forth. So yeah. You know, I definitely think it would be worth getting a ticket to go out there. I would strongly advise getting that out of your bucket list. If that's something you really follow him like that. No, no, no. We use only Yang. They don't even accept you. So you gotta turn in your US dollars then in a bank or something and get Yang. See, I don't see look. See what you're saying right there? No, no, they want to use the Yang. That shit you gotta find out, bro. See? See? See what I tell you? They got their own money, right? Kids forever. What's up, Naoya Inoue? What? Yeah, starting with the V words, right? You know my eyes are bad. Now I gotta pop your thing up here. Where's my control? I hate these words that I can't see. What's he saying? Naoya? I'm a new fan because of Ramon Cardine, because of that, because of his warrior spirit that he displayed. The way he took Naoya Inoue's punches like that. Real warrior, real fighter, real warrior. Should have never been in this kind of fight this early in his career. Stepped up, rise to the occasion, and if you ask me, over exceeded my expectations of what I thought Roman Cardine as a fighter and how, what he was going to bring to the table exceeded my expectations. Hats off to Roman Cardines. You got a fan here in me. You won me over as a fan, Roman Cardine. Naoya Inoue is still my favorite fighter, but I love all the fighters, and I'm paying attention to Roman Cardine, in fact, because of that performance. I think Roman Cardine, as soon as Naoya Inoue leaves that division, he will be champion one day. Mark my words. He's got a champion's fighter spirit. Oh, since you live in Japan, then you don't need a goddamn flight plane ticket. You just need to drive up and buy a ticket. What you mean? This motherfucker lives in Japan the whole goddamn time. Bro, you live in Japan. You ain't need no goddamn passport. Just get up and walk down the street. You know what I mean? He's That's a crazy statement right there. Did you guys read that? Let's read that again. Roman was scared. Thought Naoya was going to lose. Hold on, hold on. So who is scared here? You or Roman? Who is scared here? Both of you, huh? Because apparently, Roman was scared, but you thought Naoya was gonna lose. That doesn't speak to a guy that's scared. He said, "Yeah, you got it. I'm in Japan." You do, you do, huh? That's what's up. Yo, I would love if you went down there and could take some pictures or something. Or if you ran into any of the fighters or what up and uploaded them to my email or shit so that I could promote some of the fighters. If you ever got anything, or, if you, as a fan, take a picture of the gym, I would love to see the gym. I've only seen where True School Sports took his video. And you could see the front of the sign, Ohashi Gym, right? And like I don't know much about Ohashi. I know that he was a boxer. He was like one of Japan's stars. Naoya Inoue took it to a different level. But it's always good knowing about the men and women that paved the way for you, like our legends. For as much as people hate or like or love Floyd Mayweather, he is a staple in boxing. If it wasn't for men like Naoya Inoue, if it wasn't for men like Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Naoya Inoue would never have this world stage to be. We would have never known who he was. These are the men that kept our sport alive. You got to respect that. Because of them, I got to meet Naoya Inoue. And Naoya Inoue had a passion for fighting because of men like this. And soon, Naoya Inoue will enter that phase in his career, where that the young men and young girls that are looking up at champions are saying, I want to be like him. Naoya Inoue is doing his part to keeping boxing strong, baby, and alive for future fighters to come up and have a world stage. What Naoya Inoue is doing for Japan is remarkable. The light, the notoriety that Japan's getting, and the opportunity that some of these Japan fighters, they owe that due in part to Naoya Inoue, because I'm going to keep it real with you guys. Just before Naoya Inoue, all their stars were getting knocked out. Luis Pantera Nari went out there and knocked out the Japan superstar not once but twice. Then got fucking found cheated when he came up positive on some steroid shit. Luis Pantera Nari. Then he missed weight by 5 pounds and got kicked out of Japan. Right? The other Japanese superstar, Nakatani, something like that. Remember when he fought Vasily Lomachenko? And that tall Japanese dude that he was like 5'9", 5'10", Vasily almost knocked him out the ring. So the Japan guys, they were there competing with us. They were good fighters, but they were nothing like this fucking hellstorm, Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue made Japan fighters feel like they can win. He made them feel like, man, fuck that, bro. We going out there and getting these belts. Without Naoya Inoue, I'm not sure they rush out like this. He gave those other guys confidence. He made them believe in themselves as a country. And Japan took off. These motherfuckers started collecting belts like it was nobody's business. What do they got currently right now? 10, 11 world champions? I know they lost a couple here and there, but amazing, bro. Amazing. And what Naoya Inoue is doing, bringing lights to the bantamweight division, that's some real Michael Jordan-esque type shit. When not a lot of people were familiar with this weight division. Why is the world familiar with this weight division? I'll tell you why. Naoya Inoue. And because of Naoya Inoue, we stumbled upon other great fighters. Bam Bam Rodriguez, Junto Nagatoni. Would we have known about these guys? Maybe. Would they be getting more light without Naoya Inoue? I'm not sure. I think that these guys saw that what he's doing, and since the camera's already down here, let's give light to the rest. And that's, I think, what happened. And that's exactly what I think happened. That's what kind of star Naoya Inoue made himself. So, fight fans, thank you for joining in today. I like talking about some of my favorite fighters. Unfortunately, I started this video on some bullshit. Right now, I regret it. Right, kind of talking about this dude. He ain't even worth my time, man. Really, but I felt like I had to say something when he went on this rant on other people's platforms. Now they're on this other show, this Marco dude show. I guess he was a former guy on this guy's show. Uh, and I kind of found that ridiculous, so I had to address it. I guess that's how they do things in this YouTube shit. I don't understand this microphone stuff. It's not really for me, but I'm not gonna let these guys stop what I'm doing. So I guess this is what you gotta do in this world, this kind of world. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. That where do they do this at? I guess on YouTube. I don't know. But fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Sorry about the rant in the beginning of the video and everything. I'm feeling a little silly right now. But I think it was necessary to get out the way. But that'll be the last time I address something like that. It's all boxing from here on in, guys. So please lock in, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, give the videos a like. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports TV. You guys have always been amazing. Love yourselves.